favorite Commanders YouTube show. If this is your first time watching, be sure to subscribe to the channel. You can follow me on Twitter at the Denton Day. We had OTAs this past week for the Commanders. This is not going to be a video complaining about those who were there, those who were not there. I would have loved it if the guys that weren't there were there. It's voluntary. I'm not going to tie myself in a knot about that. But it is starting to be list season. And with list season, I start looking ahead to 2025. I've heard a lot of different views and thoughts on who's going to be good this season in the NFL. Are the Commanders going to be better? Are they going to step back? We're going to push that to the side for a little bit, and we're going to focus on players here. And I want a lot of interaction from you, the viewer, either on Twitter at the Denton Day or down below in the comment section. Who's the one player on the Commanders team that you are expecting and you think needs a breakout season? Jaden Daniels already broke out. We already know what he is. If he gets any better than what he was last year, that guy's going to win the MVP, but we know what he is. I want a guy that is maybe a little out of left field that you think is going to have or is in desperate need of a breakout season. I keep saying desperate need because that's what my answer falls on. It has to be Daron Payne. Daron Payne needs to break out the way that he did when a contract was on the line. It's list season, as I mentioned, and Pro Football Focus did a list of the 32 best interior defenders, and Daron Payne is not on the list. Now, say whatever you want about Pro Football Focus. I understand that they are polarizing, but to not even be on the list, you're the 10th highest paid player at your position in the entire NFL. You're not even on the list. You know who was on the list? John Allen was on the list. He was hurt a little bit last year. He came back. He was very noticeable. I do think that Daron Payne played well in the postseason, and I can't just judge an interior defensive guy based off of sacks. I understand how the position works. There's some responsibilities that maybe don't show up on the stat sheet. And it's clear that this organization thinks he did that at least remotely well because he's still here. They very easily could have gotten rid of him in some way, shape, or form. They decided to keep him. I'm going to need to see a little bit better from Daron Payne. He had 4 sacks last year. Outside of that one anomaly year that was a contract year, that's pretty much where he stays around. I'm not saying that he needs to come out here and have 11 and a half again, although hot damn, would it be nice if he does, but he needs to play significantly better. The defensive line was the worst unit on the team last year. The worst group of positions on the team last year were the interior guys and the edge guys. Well, most of the guys that, like a John Allen, Duran was obviously here with Chase and Montez when that unit was pretty darn good. Those guys are all now gone. Daron Payne is very much the veteran of the group. You bring back some of the guys from last year. Obviously, Dorrance Armstrong is still around because he was on a multi-year deal. You bring back Cleveland Farrell, but Dante Fowler's gone. Right? Some of the other guys that occupied those positions, they're gone. You bring in a bunch of other guys like a Javon Kinlaw, Johnny Newton's here for another season, but Daron Payne is the veteran of the group. He should be the guy that is taking the onus and being the one that dominates. I need him to have a dominating season this year. You need him to have a dominating season this year. If he plays substantially better than what he did in 2024, guess what? The defense is going to get better than they were in 2024. If he starts to beat some double teams that were thrown his way, the defense is going to get better. If he stops the run, if he gets after the quarterback, it's not the most important position, defensive tackle certainly, but seeing as he is the highest paid player on that group by a pretty wide margin, even if they overpaid, at least now, for Javon Kinlaw, he's the highest paid player on that group. He needs to start playing like it, or he's not going to be here anymore. And you're going to look at that season that got him the contract with 11 and a half sacks. And I don't know that they still do top 10 seasons, top 10 one-hit wonder seasons on NFL Network the same way they did when I was growing up. But if you were to make a list of that, top 10 one-hit wonders in the 2020s, right now Daron Payne is on that list. And I would very much like him to get off of that list. I need a season that he had when he got that contract. Show us why that money was paid to you, or what's the point of giving you that money? What's the point of this organization keeping you around? So I'm not only predicting a breakout, I'm borderline demanding a breakout season for Daron Payne. He needs to be better to rise this defense up to the level that it should be. If this defense is better, I don't anticipate the offense is going to be taking a step back in 2025. So if the defense is better, that really lifts the potential of this team going just 1 week or 2 weeks in actuality, but 2 weeks further, 1 week in the actual seasonal calendar, 2 weeks in the real calendar, just 1 week further, one game further, and potentially playing for the biggest prize of them all. And we would have been partying in New Orleans, and we'll be partying in San Francisco and down on Independence and Constitution. I need Deron Payne to play much, much better, be the superstar that we have seen glimpses of him being. And if somebody needs to get in this man's head a little bit, hire some sort of sports psychiatrist to convince him that this is a contract year. If that's what you got to do, go ahead and do that. I need Deron Payne to have a breakout season. Who do you want? Who do you think is going to have a breakout season? Let me know down below in the comments. You can follow me on Twitter and hit me up on Twitter at the Denton Day. I appreciate you coming into my office. Now, respectfully, get out.